A wonderful good morning to you. Today, it's going to be a slightly different kind of video. Specifically, I want to talk about what my strategy would be if there were to be an attack on Iran by the USA, how I would behave in the market, and above all, where I would open new positions. So first of all, good morning again. Please feel free to give this video a like right away. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe as well. I've already posted this in my Discord server. So if you're not yet part of the Discord server, feel free to join as well. I've placed new limit orders for myself in the market. In this video, I want to explain exactly how things are now. I'll go over the exact strategy, where I've set my limit orders, and when and where I'll be opening which positions. And also, of course, how I manage my other trading positions that I currently have open. So let's not waste any more time and jump right in because it's about to happen. At least according to the American media, it is said that Trump could launch an attack on Iran at any moment. Yesterday, we saw news, depending on when you're watching this video, that Donald Trump has given Iran a deadline of the next 10 days, during which a decision may be made on whether or not there will be an attack. Trump had already, or actually the entire United States had, the whole military fleet, moved it to the Middle East, or rather, shipped it over there. 2 new ships, or rather 2 new aircraft carriers, have also arrived there. Let me check. I actually posted about it on Twitter recently, or rather, I already mentioned it in the last update video, that even the US Air Force is actually moving several aircraft carriers or fighter jets to the Middle East. I really hope that there won't be a war in the next few days, but we are traders, so of course we have to prepare ourselves for it. I'm not saying we should make the best of the situation because, don't get me wrong, I'm the last person who wants any kind of war here. Especially not since it's basically right on my doorstep. I mean, Iran is actually just a few hundred kilometers away from my home. That means if there is an escalation there, I don't know what kind of impact that would have here in Dubai. I hope none, but today we want to focus on how we can, I don't want to say maximize profit, but at least position ourselves in such a way that we can use this event, this spectacle, so to speak, this negative occurrence for us, at least for our investments, in a positive way. And for that, I have 2 different strategies that I will be starting now in my current market phase, or rather in this current market phase. Number 1, I think it doesn't really matter whether there is an attack or not. I am still continuing to buy spot. We've actually been looking at this constantly over the past few days, the past few months. With Bitcoin, we are currently in a very, very strong correction phase. Or rather, to be open and honest, if we look at the chart, we're actually in a bear market. I've mentioned several times that if Bitcoin drops below $60,000 US, I will continue to buy spot. Nothing has changed about that situation now. That means even if war does break out here, I will of course continue to buy spot. Because what usually happens during a war with traditional markets or other assets? Weak assets are sold off, panic enters the market. Whether or not this whole scenario is already priced in, there is a very, very high probability that there will be a sell-off. The question is, how big will the sell-off be? How far will it drop? And how can you, of course, benefit from it as much as possible, profit from it? Of course, there will also be beneficiaries of a war scenario. Among them is the price of gold, for example, the price of oil as well, which will definitely rise in such a situation. That's why I have definitely started a new oil bot as well. I started the oil bot on Paranex. Right now it's running a bit, well, plus minus 0 at the entry price. That means if it comes to the point where the oil price explodes upwards, my oil bot would definitely take some solid profits here. I've set a price range from 75 to 90 US dollars. So I've definitely left the bot enough room for profit so that if there's a sell-off downward, it will also capture that movement. Of course, I always have the option to add more margin at any time if that's not the case. Otherwise, I would simply close the bot once the whole issue, let's say, is resolved and off the table. Ideally, of course, with profits. Just take them. Take them home with me and be happy about some nice profits. The second thing I will do, as I said, is open more spot positions. Spot positions, I already talked a bit more about this in yesterday's video, and today in the live stream, I also want to discuss the topic of spot DCA a bit more, especially in this phase, because when we see a sell-off in Bitcoin, I buy all my spot positions here on Bybit. You even have a really awesome one here. A promotion, although unfortunately it only runs until the end of February, but you get 45 US dollars completely given to you for free. All you have to do is create an account. The whole thing is doubled in this video. That means you even get twice as much on top as you normally would. Just create an account. Important, it only works for new users, and you have to deposit at least 100 US dollars. I'll leave the link for you in the video description, so definitely check that out as well. As I said, that's where I've been buying for the last few times. I think my account there is already over 6 years old, so I've been buying there regularly for a long time. Only spot, very important. If you buy spot, don't keep your spot position on the exchanges, but actually transfer it over to your ledger. If you want me to make a video on this topic as well, showing you how to properly park your position on a ledger, or generally how to structure your portfolio in a simple way, let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, writing something in the comments, feel free to also leave a like. So where are my next positions or my next limit orders where I'll start buying again? As I already mentioned before, I'll start buying more if Bitcoin drops below 60,000 US dollars. That means if Bitcoin heads below 60,000 US dollars, I will place new limit orders in the market. My strategy will be as follows. I will place additional limit orders in the market every 2,000 US dollars down. That means my first limit order, which I already posted on the Discord server, is at 60,000 US dollars. My last position was bought at just under 63,000 US dollars. The next position would then be triggered in the market. As soon as we hit the 60,000 US dollar mark, and then it really goes every 2,000 US dollars down. Why am I buying now? Every 2,000 US dollars down. Or why did I specifically set the limit orders there? Simply for two different reasons. Reason number one, I obviously want to DCA down. That means if the Bitcoin price falls, I naturally want to pick up my shares at the bottom so that I can benefit from the next upward push in the long term. I don't expect this war situation or the general bear market to last for the next 5 years. Rather, I strongly believe that within the next 1 to 2 years, or maybe even in the next few months, we will see Bitcoin at a higher level than it is right now. And of course, I want to make the most of this drop downwards, possibly this sell-off panic event, or really not exactly a black swan event, but at least a massive sell-off, and profit from it as much as possible. And how can you profit from it as much as possible? Either by taking a position to the downside, short it downwards. I want to share my strategy with you right away, or of course by buying more Bitcoins in the range between $60,000 and $50,000. US dollars, simply buy new Bitcoins. Because even if Bitcoin only goes up to the all-time high, and not even to the all-time, maybe just up to $100,000. But if you bought some Bitcoins at 50,000 US dollars, you would be capturing a move of over 100%. And over 100%, that is definitely an amount where I would say, okay, that is really, really awesome. A position where you can, of course, look forward to some nice profits. Because especially in times of crisis, in phases when the market is indecisive, when there is fear in the market, those are exactly the right moments to build positions for the spot portfolio so that you can profit from it in the next run. Because the real money in spot trading isn't made when Bitcoin goes up, isn't made when we're in a bull run. The real profit is made from your entry price. And the best entry prices, you can scroll back weeks or months. The best entry prices, whether it's for altcoins, whether it's for Bitcoin, whether it's for gold or any other assets, are at the lows in bear markets. And that's why I'm very, very interested in really filling up my spot bags right now. But I will only be buying more Bitcoin. I won't be buying any altcoins for now, even if the altcoins, in the event of a possible attack on Iran and a real sell-off of Bitcoin or the Nasdaq, also drop significantly. I don't want to increase my altcoin holdings for now, but instead I really want to focus entirely on Bitcoin at this point. The same applies, of course, not only to spot positions, but also to scalp positions, or rather not scalp positions, but more like swing trade positions that I want to build up. I will very likely not build up any large long positions for now, as long as we don't yet have a decision on whether there will be a military attack or not. If we see a massive candle to the downside, and by massive candle, I do not mean we drop by $2,000, but a massive candle for me would be if we drop by $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000 in a single candle, then I might consider opening a new swing long position with low leverage. Low leverage means that here, at most, really at most, we would enter the market with 3 times or 5 times leverage, no higher, in order to build a position. Because if it goes down and we see a truly massive move, there will be panic selling. Panic selling means that the candle could, of course, trigger even more liquidations. If you're using too much leverage, things can go south very quickly. That could result in you possibly getting liquidated as well. That's exactly what I want to avoid in this phase, of course. That's why if I open a long position, or if you open a long position, especially here, somewhere between $60,000 and $50,000, 𝗬𝗏, yes, that's an insanely huge range. And that's why I split up my limit orders, so that depending on how far it drops, I can simply catch that downward movement. And if it only goes down to 57,000 or 58,000, that's fine with me too. I simply take these 2 new order positions. that I set for myself into the market and just let the position run. Of course, I'll always keep you updated on that. That means I'll either post it here on Twitter or also on my Discord server. So you'll get full transparency if I buy more or if I open new positions. New position, I currently have an open Bitcoin short position. It's running here, almost $70 in profit. Right now, it's at the entry price. If we now see massive selling pressure downward in Bitcoin, possibly even an attack on Iran over the weekend, I will, of course, expand this position if we break down through there. Actually, I just realized that's Solana. Of course, we don't want to look at Solana Bitcoin. You can see here I've already placed a new limit order above us again. That means if we see another small push upward over the weekend, I will definitely continue to increase my short position. So at the moment, I'm really short oriented in the market here. The plan for this position will be to ride it down to $60,000 and then from the profits we've made here from the short position to, of course, let the position continue running on the one hand, take partial profits and shift these partial profits into a new swing long position. Ideally, this way, we won't have to invest our own capital at all, but can simply keep using the profits from the short position, depending on how far down it goes, to enter a new long position. I would simply do DCA down, meaning I would set limit orders further and further down. And of course, if necessary, use a small leverage here as well. Add that in as well, so that when it goes back up, we can definitely ride this position upwards too. We can ride it up as well. That's basically my strategy for how I'm behaving in the current market phase. For now, I'm absolutely staying away from any long positions because especially in this phase, yes, it's possible that we might not see a downward movement. But don't assume that if there is a military attack, the market will head towards an all-time high. It's very, very likely that there will be a sell-off, and I want to prepare myself as best as possible for that. If there isn't a sell-off, I'll be happy about that too. I'm well positioned in the market. I've already bought back my good spot bags, but I strongly assume that there will be one. And if we're being honest and look at the past, it has always been the case that at least at the start of a war or during this phase when things are still unclear, there has been a sell-off. After a few days, the whole situation stabilized and there was a really good recovery. But of course, I want to take advantage of exactly these opportunities for myself. That means if things go down, to profit from this move, to buy in as quickly as possible and to position myself as quickly as possible. Possibly even with new long positions and then of course ride them upwards. Ride them because a drop like that isn't going to just keep falling for 3 or 4 years. Even if the war lasts 3 years or so, there will be a recovery. Of course, I want to position myself as best as possible for this recovery. If right now you're feeling a bit like, if you're currently unsure about where to enter trade positions or how to approach the whole thing properly, we have a complete trading bootcamp for you. You can find the playlist right here. It's linked here or also down below in the Discord server. Feel free to join us. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this short video with a slightly different market update, please let me know in the comments. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe and also check out our complete free trading bootcamp right here. And with that, I'd say we'll see each other at the latest in the next update video, where we'll take a closer look at the charts. We're live on YouTube every day. Are you joining us there? We go through the markets together, and just yesterday we took a few trade positions. Let me see. Where do we have it here? Yesterday here, position history. Where are we here? Yes, a nice position that went into profit. Unfortunately, 2 stop losses were hit, but the entire last week also looks very, very good. That means a very profitable trading week, as you can see. With that, I wish you a very relaxing start to the weekend. I'm going to treat myself to a sip of coffee. I'll get ready for the next live stream, and then we'll see each other at the latest in the next video. See you then.